Hey, what's up everyone? The moment is finally here. One of my top 10 most anticipated films of 2019 that I'm going to be reviewing. Alita Battle Angel. Based off the manga, the same name, sort of, it's called Battle Angel Alita. Alita Battle Angel takes place in the year 2563 after this catastrophic war called the Fall, leaving Earth devastated. The movie opens up with Dr. Dyson Ito scouring this scrapyard, and what he finds, he just can't believe. He finds the upper half of a dismembered female cyborg, and to his surprise, there's a human brain inside there. So the doctor takes what's left of her home, completely rebuilds her, and we're introduced to the female cyborg and main star of this movie, Alita. Throughout the beginning of this movie, she doesn't really know what's going on. She doesn't know what's right, what's wrong, and at certain points, she just lets natural instinct take over, but she doesn't have any clue what her past is about. She has no memories whatsoever. We get a lot of world building, there's a lot of side characters introduced, crazy fight scenes, cool sports from this world, and the whole world this takes place in is just mesmerizing. So throughout the whole film, Alita's trying to recall her past, all while trying to see how she can get to this floating metal utopia, Zalem. Okay, so let's just get right to it. I'm really conflicted about this film because there's a lot going for this, and it had a lot of really good elements in it, but there's just certain things I'm just like, why? Why couldn't you do this? Why couldn't you do that? It's like that one piece of chocolate you have in the assorted bunch, and you bite about halfway through it, and you're just like, the hell is that, raspberry or some shit? Everything that this film was wrapped in was fantastic. We had Rose Salazar playing Alita, which was hands down one of the best performances I've seen by a newer actor or actress. And one of the greatest things in this film, the special effects. The special effects were top notch. Yeah, it was really weird in the first trailer to see those giant eyes that they tried to do from the manga adaptation, but it just worked in this film. A lot of the stuff just seemed so seamless, and the fact that it was basically human tissue blending in with robotics, I've never seen something just look so good. The music for this film, the orchestral score, it just felt really empowering. This reminded me of some sort of big budget 80s or 90s film back in the day that just had that score that, like, if there's any type of action scene, it was always fast paced, or if there was any type of inspirational moment, the music just completely uplifted you and just took you to that specific emotion you wanted to feel in that scene. One of the best action sequences in this film, hands down. It was teased in the trailers a little bit, but it involves this giant grunt of a mech named Grushka, played by Jackie Earle Haley from Watchmen and the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. If you guys have played Resident Evil 2, there's a character by the name of William Burke, and he comes in towards the beginning of the game, and he's this sort of mini boss you have to fight. Halfway through the game, bigger boss you have to fight. And then finally in the game, third time you go to fight him again. It's like every time you fight him, he's getting more and more upgraded. And that's basically what Jackie Earle Haley plays in this movie. He's this like cookie cutter video game type of boss, and every single scene he was in this movie was just completely satisfying. The action sequences with him in it were great. Another cool action sequence is the human side of this and the official pro side of this, Motorball. Now, it was teased, and I think it was the second or third trailer for Alita Battle Angel, but this is just a ridiculously fast-paced sport, and it's neat to see in this post-apocalyptic world, they basically have an equivalent to our NASCAR or our NFL. It's more or less if NASCAR met with Burnout, and then add a little bit of Road Rash in there. Regardless, this sport is just not for the weak, and Alita kicks ass at it. So moving on to the supporting actors and actresses, we have Mahershala Ali, Jennifer Connelly, Michelle Rodriguez, and there's just a lot of other actors and actresses peppered in here, but we don't really get too much with them. An actor by the name of Keenan Johnson plays a character named Hugo in this movie. He's basically like a best friend character to Alita, and honestly, there was just so much stuff with his character I felt that was left out, and just all the characters in general. Like, there's specific moments and feelings that they're having early on in the film, and then later on in the film, they just change like that. Their feelings on a specific matter or subject just change instantly. Like there was something supposed to happen maybe halfway through the film or at some point in the film, and they just cut it out. I don't know if there's going to be an extended cut or if they're saving some of this stuff weirdly enough for another film, but it just felt like there was something missing. There's even a few times when they focus on Alita and they're trying to tease her past and tease her backstory, but there's not really too much resolution with that, and by the end of the movie, you're just like, ugh, They're setting up for like 2 or 3 or 4 movies. James Cameron is trying to avatar the shit out of this franchise already. And I know James Cameron wasn't necessarily the director of this film, but come on. He had a pretty big hand in this movie. It's really a shame because the lack of character development and the fact that they were trying to set up all these other things all while trying to do this movie just really left me disappointed. I really wanted to love this film because, again, it was on my top 10 anticipated list for this year, but I just felt like I was cheated. I know this movie was a little over 2 hours as it is, but if this movie was just maybe 20 minutes longer, give a little bit more with Alita's backstory, not even reveal everything about her backstory, but just give us something. And again, give us some more character development. Come on, at the beginning of the movie, I was actually invested in a lot of these characters, but towards the end of the film, some of them have a quick change of heart out of nowhere, and some of them live, some of them die, and To sum it all up, guys, I'm feeling very conflicted about this film. The special effects were great. Rose Salazar's performance as Alita was fantastic, but they just left out so much, and this movie could have been so much more. If you do see this, I would probably, just because it's such a spectacle, see it in Dolby Cinema, see it in IMAX, see it in RPX, whatever. It's worth seeing. It's entertaining. And if you have the ability to just switch off your brain, sit back and relax, you'll probably love this movie. I can understand why some people may say this movie's just mediocre. I personally thought it was good, but had a lot of room to improve. Either way, guys, check it out. Have a fun time. 7 out of 10.